Good evening. My name is Cindy, and I'm so excited to be here from Alaska on behalf of my daughter, Lindsey. I wish I could stand up here on stage with Lindsey and talk about her wish coming true and how she went on to heal from her condition. But that's not her story. Instead, I'm going to tell you about my daughter and how her wish changed my life. 17 years ago, when my husband and I found out our baby would be born with Down syndrome and a serious heart defect, we had no idea the journey we were beginning. Our girl, Lindsey Rose Just, was born April 4, 2001. At 4 months, she had her first open heart surgery. Doctors successfully repaired her heart, but somehow her lungs were damaged, and she had to have a tracheostomy and was ventilator dependent. Over the years, Lindsey had more surgeries, procedures, and hospital stays, too many to count. She spent her days in physical, occupational, and speech therapies and special education. At 3, she took her first steps. By 5, she outgrew the need for the tracheostomy. She worked so hard for every milestone, and she went through it all with a tough spirit, a ready smile, and a forgiving heart. When she was 3, we began watching Signing Time, a fun series of DVDs created by Rachel Coleman. The show teaches American Sign Language through songs and movement. At the time, this was the perfect tool to help Lindsey overcome significant speech delays. But in hindsight, it was so much more than that. Lindsey's favorite place in the world was at home at the end of the sofa watching Signing Time. As the movies played in our living room and the months and the years went by, Lindsey's sign language vocabulary and mine grew to nearly 1,000 words. When her cardiologist referred her for a wish in 2014, Lindsey couldn't exactly speak and tell me what she wanted, but she could communicate. I knew without a doubt she would want to meet Rachel Coleman of Signing Time. Rachel immediately agreed. She didn't just want to meet Lindsey. Rachel offered to do a private show for Lindsey in Alaska. She was going to bring the party to us. We were all so excited and knew this was going to be a really special day. We invited important people in Lindsey's life, her teachers, therapists, and even her referring cardiologist. Extended family chose to fly to Anchorage to be a part of her wish day. It was truly a celebration of the community that had enriched our daughter's life and stood by and cheered her on every step of the way. When Lindsey's wish day arrived on October 2, 2015, a limo transported us to a private show and party with Rachel Coleman. Now, Lindsey sometimes was shy and experienced anxiety in unfamiliar situations, so I wasn't sure what her reaction would be to seeing Rachel Coleman from our TV right in front of her. I shouldn't have worried. Within moments, Lindsey joined Rachel Coleman and Hopkins the Frog on stage to sign some of her favorite hits. As I watched Lindsey interact with Rachel, I knew I was witnessing something remarkable. A little girl who had been closed up in a world with very few ways to communicate, was meeting the very person who opened the doors and gave her a language to express herself. After all my girl had been through, there were only happy tears that day. And when I tucked Lindsey into bed that night, she didn't want to take off her new orange Rachel Coleman sweater. It had been a perfect day with a perfect wish. I never could have guessed that 20 days later, Lindsey would be admitted to the hospital and never again return home. That scene, the vision of Lindsey's face aglow with joy and amazement, is what carried me through the next 2 months when she was diagnosed with a rare immune disease called HLH, hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, a condition that I'd never heard of before that required immediate and aggressive treatment. As HLH ravaged her 14-year-old body and the chemo caused her to waste away, I kept Lindsey's wish day tucked close to my heart. During long days and endless nights by her bedside in the hospital, I could close my eyes and remember her dancing to the music at Rachel Coleman's side. When Lindsey's condition declined in the ICU and we knew she wasn't going to survive, Rachel called to video chat with Lindsey and sang and signed gently to her. The impact of Lindsey's wish continued even during those darkest days. Lindsey passed away in December of 2015, just 11 and a half weeks after receiving her wish. Now that she's gone from this earth and memories are all that I have, one of my most treasured ones is of Lindsey's face, lit up with delight as her dream came true. For me, the memory of Lindsey's wish is like a precious gem that I keep tucked away in a velvet-lined box in my mind. And on the dark days, when Lindsey feels like she's a million miles away, I take it out, and as I hold it carefully in my hands, its bright glow warms me, and I remember. Lindsey lived. For one beautiful day, she laughed, she danced, she signed to the music, and she felt magic. Lindsey had a dream come true, surrounded by family and all those who loved her most, made possible by complete strangers with generous hearts, like you. It turns out the lasting gift was not only Lindsey's after all. The wish was given to me and to her dad, her brother, and her grandparents, and to Auntie Reen, Auntie KK, Ninny, and to the rest of the loved ones from our community who were included. We are the true recipients of Lindsey's wish because we carry the memory of that perfect day. I stand here tonight as Lindsey's mama, not just to tell you about my precious girl and the day her dream came true, but also to say thank you. And to give you the gift of knowing that what you did for Lindsey and my family made a difference. You helped my daughter's wish come true, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because of you, my husband and I are here tonight to raise our paddles. We know what it means to have a wish granted, and there's nothing we want more than to pay it forward to other kids in Lindsey's memory. I don't know why Lindsey's story happened the way it did. What I do know is that losing Lindsey so soon and so unexpectedly after her wish day has shaken me deeply. The timing of her wish takes my breath away. If Lindsey's wish day had been postponed for any reason, if Rachel Coleman had not felt a sense of urgency, if donors had not stepped up, Lindsey and our family would not have experienced the transformative power that only a wish can bring, and we would not have these memories to cherish. When I think about Lindsey's wish, I can't help but think about providence and fate and coincidence and seizing the day. I can't count on tomorrow. None of us can. Please don't wait for the future to make that donation. Right now, there are 500 children in Alaska and Washington waiting for their wishes. They all need wishes granted. And there could be another child like Lindsey who doesn't have many tomorrows left. That's why I'm asking you to step up right now to give other kids like Lindsey who dare to dream a wish come true. Thank you. Rachel.